La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. On the next episode,
si lazima uishi hali juu, hata kama ni nyumba ya matope yako binafsi, nyumba yako wewe, mnaanza na wife. Wewe ngapi tuambao kwamba tunajua wameanza na bed sitter room, wanapikia pale pale na wanalala pale, na leo ni watu ambao kwamba ni matajiri, wanaishi manyumba makubwa makubwa.
Assalamu alaikum. Let's brighten up your morning. I am Aisha Khan and you're watching the Sabah Show. Only on Horizon TV. Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of God, the most gracious and the most merciful. Welcome to the Sabah Show. This is the round table with me, Aisha Khan, where we discuss very thorny and pertinent issues in our society. But before that, as we always do, we have to look at the top stories in our country and, of course, around the globe. We're coming to you live from the heart of the city center. This is Horizon TV, the premier Islamic station. And, of course, I can't do this alone. I have with me Munene Muturi, a PR specialist, and of course I have with me Said Kuria, who is a former student leader. Welcome. How are you guys feeling today?
You're good.
Feeling great.
Are you ready to fight as always? This is Friday. It's always on fire. So now let's go to the headline that's on Daily Nation. We have Raila options in son Fidel's DNA order. Now, paternity row. Samples from former Prime Minister and his wife Ida will be used for DNA tests to determine if twins at the center of paternity dispute are their son's biological children. This is nothing new. It's been running for a whole week right now. And we just came out of the story of Ken Okoth. Same story. Now, do you think men have a problem when it comes to disclosing their, extramarital affairs? Side.
Of course, we can't say that men have a problem because these extramarital affairs are not between men and men. They are between women and men. It means we involve two genders. So it is about society. This load of blame cannot be placed on one gender or men alone. I think what we are seeing is what is happening in society. We are only exacerbating this matter or exaggerating this matter because it involves important people in society. For Ken Okoth, he was a member of parliament, so he had limelight. So when his private affairs go in the direction society doesn't expect to go, of course we have to know. And it's the same with the former Prime Minister, Raila Amolo Odinga. But that is how society is. We have to look where rain started beating us, where things fell apart. Because I believe this is what is happening in society. Ordinary people are going through these things, yet no one is talking about them. We are talking about these things because we are talking about our leaders and people, of course, who can raise attention when something happens to them. And I still say, when society morals go downwards, that is what happens. And by the majority of men don't even know whether the children they are bringing up belong to them. It is only women who can confirm that indeed these children belong.
Why is it just women to confirm, yet in society we have a man and a woman?
Do you know why I'm saying about women? Of course, when someone gives birth, There's no doubt, except in a case where there is like the one we saw with the twins. A woman is very sure that the child I'm bringing up is my child, unless there is a mistake, and maybe someone takes the child that doesn't belong maybe to her. But to men, they can't know. You may be, maybe your partner may tell you, this child belongs to you, but you can't be 100% sure until DNA is done. So what I'm saying, these are matters touching on morals. If society is upholding its morals, then we'll not have these things. If it has abdicated its responsibility of protecting what is right or upholding good morals, then we will see these things. And that is why I usually say, in matters family, women have greater responsibility than men. Because even in the nature of the circumstances, how can you prove that the child you are bringing up? Even our deputy presidents told Sonko the other day, the only person who can know the owner of the child is the mother. Or the father of the child is the mother. Because most of the times, even if you have good relationship with your wife, maybe you are not having problems in your marriage, maybe a woman may decide to sneak and do other things. But I'm not saying that the blame should not also be placed on men, because these women are not doing it alone. Of course they are doing it with other men. What I'm trying to say, our society, if the level of trust has reached to this point, then our society has a problem. And to address these issues, we must now go back to where we came from and protect our morals and uphold what is right.
Now, Munene, you have just heard what he has said. He said that a woman is in the best of position to confirm if the child is, belonging to the man. Are you in agreement with what he just said?
I won't be in agreement entirely in his words, but I think I'll put it in a way that women are child bearers. In that context, the point of really confirming about the paternity or who is the father of the child will solely rely on the woman, because she's the one who knows the intimacy that she had with any particular person. But I think the issue comes about when women bring up these issues. Oh, I had a child with this person 10, 15 years ago because of a tragedy has happened, and I want my children to be included in their will. And I think that's where the concept of women are bringing up children from wherever they are bringing them up, so in the benefit of getting money and in the benefit of getting wealth. And I think that's where the problem are. Men have no problem of raising their kids. I think if you have intimacy with a woman, there is a possibility of having children. And I think if these issues are brought to you in a timely manner, I think men will take them up. But I think the families that are left behind when there is a deceased person and then a certain lady will come up and say this child belongs to, I think the motive of it and the intentions of it are all wrong.
Now, just on this same topic, how open should men be? Because you find until they pass away, that is when someone rises up and says, I had a relationship and I have a child. So how open should men be? Are they scared to put forth and say that they are having extramarital affairs and that they have children? Munene.
I still emphasize that this is a responsibility of men and women.
Okay.
No one should be excluded. And men, by the when I say that, I mean society as whole. They should take seriously matters touching on marriage. Of course, even our religion teaches us that we should not have sex outside marriage, extramarital affairs. Because society we can have confusion in society. Because imagine when I have 10-year son, then I realize the son, I am not the one who sired the son. Of course there will be conflict, and all along I have been knowing this is my son, this is my biological son, but something happens, then I realize he is not my son. We cannot live like animals. Human beings have brains, and that is why we should respect ourselves, and we should have even dignity as human beings. And we can only have dignity if we have a system that protects marriage, where it is automatic. The children can be only shared between a man and a wife who are in a marriage, not in any other circumstance. But now even both men and women are not taking these things seriously. Lady can, because before you get yourself into a point that you want to serve with a man, or you are getting intimate with a man, you of course you know the consequences. And if you know the consequences, you cannot drop guard to an extent that you are having with someone who is not even your husband, and to an extent.
So in short, there is immorality in our society.
There is morality in society, yes. And that is what we should correct, that immorality.
We pray that one day that our society will be a better society to live
Yes.
in. Now moving on to the Standard, we have Who Will Dare Probe This Man? Now, Mr. Edward Mbugua, the Deputy Inspector General of Police, has been implicated in 700 million Kenya shillings bribery and extortion racket. The Interior Minister has ordered to be investigated, but officers are afraid to take his statement. Who will investigate the boss? Now here the boss is involved. Do you think justice will be served, Munene?
Of course, justice will not be served as long as we keep doing the same things the same way and expecting different results. The problem is that we are in a country that is almost governed by the jungle laws. No one is really there to take responsibility when an issue of integrity or someone is questioned about their dealings when they're in positions of power. The issue should be when a person, a person in government or any other person is indicted or implicated in any case, they should take the highway and just step aside to allow, if they feel they are not to be vindicated in it, they should step aside to allow these investigations to happen. But we cannot say it. I think it's just foolish of the Minister of Security Matiang'i to throw in that go in and investigate the second in command in the police service when he's still in office. How will you go and investigate him? If he is really serious in investigating him, he should pressure him to step aside so that these junior officers will be able to investigate him. But how will you go and investigate someone? These are disciplined forces. It's very strict for you to even talk to your boss. You're supposed to salute to them, ask no questions. So I think there is the sarcasm that we are being taken around by the Jubilee administration in general. I think the corruption cases they are fighting it from the back door. They are telling us they are cooking ugali, but at the end of the day it's porridge they are cooking for us.
Okay. Said, what do you have to say about this?
Of course, if we should not even have the question of who will probe this man, because of course if he is in wrong, first he is supposed to step aside, because as Monene has said, we cannot probe someone who is still in police force, because of course he'll intimidate the juniors, and the people who are expected to arrive at the details of what happened in this matter will be scared. And I'm saying, and I repeat again, our society has a problem. Because now, even everyone is afraid that one person, and we actually almost 50 million, one person is intimidating 50 million. How can that happen? Or interest of one person are outweighing the interest of 50 million Kenyans. If he is in wrong, and by this should even happen with a president, deputy president, and everyone who is in power. If you're in wrong, we should have the institutions put in place should have capacity to probe you, and if you are found guilty, you should be jailed. We have seen in some countries where even presidents are jailed, even where people who you may think the untouchables are jailed, and some even serve life sentence jails. So no one should be indispensable to an extent that he cannot be probed or no one should be too powerful to be probed, because what matters in society is greatest good for greatest majority. We have 50 million Kenyans, and one interest of one person cannot outweigh the interest of 50 million Kenyans. And that is where we have gone wrong. And I keep repeating that we have come from somewhere where society used to pay attention to the interest of the community. As one person, in traditional society, one person could not have held society to hostage, but that is what is happening. One person is holding us to ransom. And now we are scared. He is not indispensable. He should be stepped aside. After stepping aside, he should be probed. But this will happen when we say enough is enough. But as long Kenyans have not said enough is enough, nothing will happen. Things will go as usual, and he still be in police force, and the corruption will continue.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. Now, we'll be taking a short break and we will be right back. Remember, you can reach us out on social media. That is at Horizontv Kenya on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram.
Assalamu alaikum. Let's brighten up your morning. I am Aisha Khan and you're watching the Sabah Show only on Horizon TV.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Akawa Abdul Muttalib ampenda sana Mtume sallam hata kushinda watoto wake. Na Abdul Muttalib, Mtume Muhammad sallam alikuwa ni mjukuu wake. Abu Talib na babake Mtume sallam dimba ndugu, tumbo moja, mama moja, baba moja. Baada ya miaka miwili Abdul Muttalib kufa, alipofika miaka 10 wakaamua kufunga safari kwenda Sham, kwenda kufanya biashara. Faqala rahib, huyu mtoto akifika akionekana dola ya Rum watamua. Akaamua kurudi kuweza kuishi katika mji wa Makka kwa mara nyingine.
The Messenger of Allah said, whoever says when the morning comes, رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد نبيا, meaning I am pleased with Allah as the Lord and with Islam as a religion and with Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam as a prophet, then I am the guarantor that I will take him by his hand until I put him into Jannah.
Practice this direction from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala perfectly.
Reminders from the member.
Msije mkafata nyayo na barabara na njia ya shetani.
Saingine Muslim anafikiria ni kupata mali neema.
With the best of Hatibs.
We tasted the pleasure, the sweetness of ibadah, because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said
there are no times that can be equal to these days except maybe.
Tune in to Horizon TV and watch the khutbahs from different masajid every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 p.m. Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum. Let's brighten up your morning. I am Aisha Khan and you're watching the Sabah Show.
Only on Horizon TV. Wake up to exciting mornings every day. Active Jumatatu with Muhammad Obura. Tech Tuesday with Yusuf Farah. Wednesday, the special edition Business Chat with Ibtisam Jamal. All about your health on Healthy Thursdays with Mariam Mwacharo. Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the Round Table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sabah Show, only on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum. We are coming to you live from the heart of the city center. This is Horizon TV, the premier Islamic station. And of course, we are looking at the stories making the top headlines in our country and of course around the globe. Now, looking at the Daily Nation, there's a very interesting story here. There's From Riches to Rags. Ex-MCA grapples with life after office. He fell into depression after sinking all the money he had into defending his seat, only to lose in the elections. Now, my question for today is, should aspirants, political aspirants, spend so much money on campaigns such that they go this broke? Munene.
I think the question of money, I think the law tried to cap it where a certain amount of money cannot be used in the presidential campaigns. But I think the main problems come about the Kenyan voter is very corrupt. If you are not going to give them a bribe, they are not going to vote for you. So it's up to our morals. I think as Kuria goes back to society, our society, if you are not going to bribe them, they are not going to give you your votes. I think it goes way back to the policies and the effectiveness of the people in office, what they bring back to the society. People don't see that when they think that we'll just vote you for you. You go to Nairobi, make your money, build yourself a big house, buy a big car for yourself. Eventually, you are not going to build schools for us. You are not going to build hospitals for us. You are not going to do anything for us. And I think probably to ensure that these people don't end up dying in poverty, I think the issue of paying them after they leave office should be put in place. All these former elected members of parliament, either BMCAs, governors, or either former president, should be put in a payroll where after they squander all the resources and their wealth that they have had, probably they should be left with some dignity and a few coins should be thrown in their banks probably every end month.
But Munene, just on that, you think that they should continue being paid? Already they are being paid very handsomely. Now, if you cannot manage your resources, then who will for you?
The salaries that elected members get, they only don't share with their families. They share with their voters. When they go back to their constituents, they are told to contribute for person X is marrying someone. They are told to contribute in barrios. They are told to contribute in arambes. So everything they earn, they share it with the community. And I think community should take the responsibility after these people give out what they are earning. What should they do when the cow cannot be milk anymore? Probably you go to the neighbor and share the cow's milk that the neighbor has. Yes.
But Said, coming to you, there is something written here. It's saying, I had used 1.2 million Kenya shillings for campaigns, sold my electronics shop in Maragua, which I'd reopened after selling one in Nairobi. Now, just as he said, you cannot... he said that, you have to please your voters. But at the end of the day, why don't we think of ourselves before, we think of pleasing people? Today he's broke. Who will come to his rescue?
I think my poor MCA failed only to manage his expectations. What was he expecting? Of course, when you enter into a race, you may win or you may lose. And when it comes to a politics, as Monene has said, for you to be voted, you have to give money. You have to bribe people. Because people view political office as a way of accumulating wealth or as a way of making money, not for the interest of the community, but for your own interest. Because we have seen majority of people get into politics to get rich and to enrich their immediate families, not to improve the lives of people. And that is how people have understood it, and they have expected, they have accepted it. They have accepted, yes, for you to vote for you, you have to give us money. When you go there, we don't care whether you develop our area or whether you will help us, but give us what you have now, because if you go there, you are free to develop if you feel like, or even to make money for your own and for your immediate family. So the MCA managed to failed to foresee the possibility of failing. So that is why he used all his money, because I think even him, he is guilty of viewing political race as an investment. Because I believe if he would have won that race, he would have recovered that money. So it is a case of your investment. It was a risk he took, and the risk didn't favor him.
Yes.
So now he is suffering.
Yeah.
And it happens in life. For example, I can decide to open a shop because that is how political leaders.
Life is a gamble.
Life is a gamble. But that is not when it comes to how leadership should be viewed. Leadership should not be viewed like this. Of course, leadership should be a calling, and you should go there to serve people. And people should have expectations of being served, not being bribed. But for a case, and that is why I actually keep blaming society, and I say that for us to get good leaders, we must first turn to good people. We must change and become good people. But as long as we continue being bad people, people who are selfish, people who look for immediate benefits, because that is what electorate do. Electorate just look for immediate benefits. What you are giving him for that time. Because he does not even have trust. He does not trust you. He just wants to see what you are giving him for that time. Because he believes when you go there, you'll forget about him. But that's not how things should be done. Things should be, you elect people who can deliver services that are important to people, who can develop society, who can make a life better for society. But as long we'll continue having that selfish mentality, and this boils down to an individual in society, as long we are continuing having a selfish society, will continue seeing these things. He become broke, and maybe what he was enjoying as an MCA, maybe it will just remain as a nostalgic days when he was having a good time, because he may continue being poor, because no one will care about him. I can also not care about him, because that is what it can happen, and it has happened.
Thank you so much for that side. Now moving on to the next story that is on page 9 of the Daily Nation. Uhuru sacks inept ferry board. Managing director hangs by a thread as president moves to fix mess after September 29th tragedy in Likoni. Now, is this really a solution, or is it a strategy? Munene.
This is just laughable coming from the head of state, Mr. Kenyatta. I think as it is trying to indicate, I think he's already tired running the country. I should give him an advice: if he's tired, let him go back to his home, wherever he came from, and leave this country to other people to manage. I think by firing the board or the managing director does not solve the problem. The problem is we have ferries that have been there, I think, since the 70s or since the birth of this country. So we can't keep on blaming the people. What equipment have we given them to provide this service to Kenyans? I think Mr. Kenyatta, if he's serious in firing the person who is to be blamed or something to be blamed, he should fire the vessels that are used in the Likoni channel. And I think the issue I think is not the problem. We have very hard hardworking Kenyans. We have very hardworking people who are trying to work with equipments that cannot be salvaged. You can't give someone a defective equipment, an equipment that is 50 years old, and expect them to operate it at its optimum. The problem should solely be blamed on the presidency because the buck stops with him. And the problem is not the people trying to manage there, it's the kind of the equipment that we have. And I think on Mashujaa Days, a few days from now, he will be in Mombasa celebrating Mashujaa Day. And if I ask the people of Mombasa, if you're really tired with the administration or the actions that the presidency is taking, you should take that moment, go and celebrate your mothers and your fathers, and just stay at home. Let them go and shout to themselves and claim all the good things they have done in an empty stadium.
Now, Said, you know, till today there are reports that the ferry, the plank is still slanting. We have fired the board. Is this a right move or is it a strategy?
President Uhuru, these are knee-jerk reaction, and by the way, it is just a populist move to show Kenyans that he has done something about ferry services. As Monene has said, that even the equipment that are being used, the ferry itself, is defective. So what do you expect from a defective ferry, or from a ferry that is out of date and very old? What do you expect? It will cost us more lives, and no safety precautions have been even taken, and at least it needs more than what he has done. And by the way, if you look at how the thing was even sent to the media, it was, the intention of doing it was to show public that he is doing something. It was propaganda. Probably because this week he has faced the wrath of Kenyans because of some mistakes, or some of very, I'll call them stupid mistakes, like appointing dead people. How can you appoint dead people? And then Mutua start explaining to us that we appointed dead people because we have just notified government that this person has died, and that it was a mistake. Then they went ahead and appointed that dead person. So it doesn't make sense at all. So these are the mistakes. Maybe the head of state was trying to hide. The head of state was trying to hide. But this will not solve the problem. Kenyans are getting tired. You saw the reactions of young people in tweets and even in Facebook and everywhere. People are angry, and now they will not continue being taken for a ride. Things will fall apart, and leaders should at least up their game. I'm not saying that society is not to blame for what is happening, but they should up their game, because the way things are, if you look at the national mood, people are angry, and people are telling head of state, we are tired of your populist moves. We are tired of your knee-jerk reactions. When something happens, that is when you rush and you do something drastic, then throw it to all media stations, and you put in all your social media accounts to show Kenyans that you are working. Yet, in normal times, nothing is happening. Some media stations have been visiting that place, and they have seen that nothing has improved. So even sacking those people, if you put new lot of people, who will still have mentality of the people who are working before, because they still go there to look for money, not for working for Kenyans. The equipment will remain the same, and we may lose lives in the same manner we lost lives the other day. So it is very unfortunate, because we are staring at a revolution because people are tired.
Now, on the flip side, when you look at Taifa Leo, it's in Kiswahili, they say pressure ya bana Uhuru. Now, Rais Uhuru Kenyatta anakabiliwa na pressure kali kutimiza ahadi zake kwa Wakenya, huku kipindi chake cha pili ongozini kikielekea ukingoni. He is feeling a lot of pressure. Munene.
Nataka kuambia Rais Kenyatta, kama amechoka na kazi yake, enda nyumbani Ishoero, mahali umetoka. and just leave this country for other people to govern it. Because I think if you are given a mandate, if you are given a responsibility, you either see to the end of it or you just leave it. But he can't keep on sitting there at State House and crying every day, I'm tired, I'm having pressure, people are calling me, I switched off my phone. What kind of statesman is he? What kind of president is he? And I'll say there is no pressure from him. I think he's just lazy because he is entitled. He was born in State House. He thinks everything belongs to him and to his father. I think he has never worked a single day of his life. And I'll just say, facing the camera, Kenyatta, kama umechoka, enda nyumbani. Let to people who want to commit their lives in and to better days.
Moneno, I just wish to note that those are your personal
opinions.
Yes,
those are my personal comments.
Yes, those are your personal opinions.
Yes.
Now side.
Jambo hilo ati pressure ya Bwana Uhuru. Ukiitisha uongozi unajua unachoitisha. Ukiitisha uongozi unapewa majukumu fulani na usipotimiza watu watakuuliza maswali. Na ndiposa wa Kenya wanauliza maswali. Kama rais mwenyewe anaweza teua wafu, mtu ambaye amefariki na unamteua, na kuna vijana wengi ambao hawana kazi, ni kumaanisha watu ambao wako serikalini chini yake hawashughuliki na kinachoendelea katika serikalini na hawajui mambo ambayo wanafanya. Wanafaa wajue Wakenya wanachoka, na Wakenya wakichoka watatia hii nchi mashakani, kwa sababu kutakuwa na mapinduzi. Wananchi hakikisha kwamba uongozi wake umetolewa, na tumeona katika nchi nyingi njia ambazo hazifai kutumika viongozi wakitolewa katika uongozini nazo, na hatutaki kushuhudia mambo kama hayo nchi hii. Kwa hivyo ukiwa kiongozi lazima ujue una majukumu na lazima utapata pressure, lakini mambo mengine hata hatuwezi sema ni pressure, ni kuonyesha ya kuwa yanaonyesha ya kuwa hawa watu hawashughuliki na wananchi. Kwa sababu kama huwezi jua mtu ashafariki na unamteua, inamaanisha wewe kabisa hushughuliki na kazi yako. Unafanya tu mambo ufanye, siku ziende, uendelee kupewa mshahara, uendelee kuwa na walinzi ambao wanalipwa na wananchi, uendelee kukaa State House ambayo ina chochote kinafadhiliwa na wananchi na ushuru wa wananchi. Na sisi kama Wakenya lazima tukuulize maswali, kwa sababu kama unatumia pesa zetu, kwa sababu serikali, hawa viongozi wa serikali, mawaziri, rais, naibu wake, waziri mkuu ambaye sasa wameshirikiana na yeye ambaye ni Raila Amolo Odinga, wote wanatumia ushuru wetu katika kuongoza nchi na katika mambo yao hata ya kibinafsi, kama wanakokaa, kama wanachotumia, hata magari yao ni sisi tunalipia. Kwa hivyo lazima tuwaulize maswali.
Shukran sana. Now, moving on to the Daily Nation, there's a story here, sanitary pads for school girls. Now, in Kirinyaga, Governor Anne Waiguru rejoices with school girls when she launched the distribution of 16,000 sanitary pads in Kutus yesterday. The government said the program will ensure girls are comfortable and in a good mental frame when they sit their forthcoming national examination. She exuded confidence her county would emerge tops in the exams. Now, we will be tackling this issue. For now, let's take a short break and we'll be right back.
Assalamu alaikum. Let's brighten up your morning. I am Aisha Khan and you're watching the Sabah Show.
Only on Horizon TV.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Abu Najma with kids. We learn Quran. We learn Quran. We learn Quran. We learn Quran. We learn Hadith. we learn hadith, we learn hadith, we learn hadith, we learn the duas, we learn the duas, we learn the duas, we learn the duas. We love a prophet, we love a prophet, we love a prophet, we love a prophet. Abu Najma with kids. Abu Najma with kids. We learn Quran, we learn Quran, we learn Quran, we learn Quran, we learn Hadith.
Healthy Thursday is not just about diseases. It's about food, lifestyle, milestones in the medical practitioner's field, especially in our Muslim Ummah, and more so, your health. Discover breakthroughs and milestones in the medical field. Learn how to manage diseases.
Oh, that was not painful.
Join the discussion. Make better decisions on your meal plans. Improve your lifestyle.
All the doctors who are there were tired of working in maternity and taking care of women. And they say, you are the new kid on the block. We are leaving this department to you.
Healthy Thursday is about you, about your family, your lifestyle. So keep it locked Horizon TV on Healthy Thursday with me, Mariam Mwacharo.
Wanashitati nashta, watakaowafisha nyinyi ni malaika wa mauti.
Ishara zetu zinazotuongoza.
Ndipo hata Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala katika Qur'ani,
pokea ufahamu,
asema
na tahadhari,
la yanju min dhaqtatil qabri salihun wala talihun,
yazingatie,
haokoki na kufinywa na kaburi yoyote.
Jiunge na Sheikh Ali Bahero katika bishara zetu kila Jumanne saa 2 usiku kwenye Horizon TV.
Wake up to exciting mornings every day. Active Jumatatu with Muhammad Obura. Tech Tuesday with Yusuf Farah. Wednesday, the special edition Business Chat with Ibtisam Jamal. All about your health on Healthy Thursdays with Mariam Mwacharo. Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the round table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sabah Show only on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Let's brighten up your morning. I am Aisha Khan and you're watching the Sabah Show
only on Horizon TV. Wake up to exciting mornings every day. Active Jumatatu with Muhammad Obura. Tech Tuesday with Yusuf Farah. Wednesday, the special edition Business Chat with Ibtisam Jamal. All about your health on Healthy Thursdays with Mariam Mwacharo. Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the round table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sabah Show only on Horizon TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to the last segment of the newspaper review section. Now I'm getting very sad news here. Mahujaji 35 wafa katika ajali mbaya jijini Madina. May God rest their soul in eternal peace. Now moving on to the story that I had just introduced, sanitary pads for schoolgirls, just because KCPE is here around the corner. Don't you think sanitary pads should be distributed all year round?
I also think not just distributions, I think they should be provided for free. It's the way God created our women, and I think the society should take this a step up and provide them for free. We have other things that people do, worldly things out there, and I think probably the tax we get from them should be used in providing some of these services to our girls who are not able to afford to take care of themselves. On the same issue, I think young boys should be educated on how our bodies change when we get to teenagehood and to adulthood, to able to understand and tolerate the circumstances that surround adulthood.
Said, what do you have to say about this?
I think this in first place should not be even news, because we should, these are things which we call basic things for our girls. Our girls should have access to these things, as you have said, throughout the year. But now, because leaders know that we have a stupid electorate, he just gives a bunch of sanitary pads and ensures that she sponsors a story to tell us that she has done something. And this is not news. This is not development. These things, I start hearing about them when I was still in primary school. They still used to talk about how someone has distributed sanitary pads. So we are doing the same things, yet we are expecting different results. In 1990s, late 90s, when you were still in early primary school, in 2000s, when you were still in high school, and even now, things that were done then, we are still doing them. Just distributing, and by then our leaders get happy, because they know for you to be elected, you have just to distribute a bunch of sanitary pads, then sponsor a story. And I'm not saying that story was sponsored. I'm saying what happens and what I have seen. Then sponsor a story. After sponsoring a story, then when it comes for the time for elections, you tell your people, you know, I distributed sanitary pads, or I distribute sanitary pads. So it's as if it is a favor you are doing to them. And Monene, as Monene has said, this should happen for free. We should have every girl who has reached that age of needing puberty, of needing those sanitary pads, should have access to them. It is not a favor that is done to them. It is the right that should happen to them, because they are not earning, they are not working, they have not reached the age where they can buy for themselves. So they expect parents, they expect government, they expect political leadership that is in their counties to ensure these things have been done. But because we have seen her with a sizable of girls, what about those who are not included in her plan? What are they using? Are they going,
that is something
are
to
they
question,
going without sanitary pads? Are they using, like what we saw, people using skins in some areas of this country? I think so. We are joking. And as a society, we must do something. We must elect good leaders, visionary leaders, who will put a plan that will cover the whole society, and who will not do things that are supposed to be normal to us, as just a token to us.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for that. Now, moving on to the same page on the Daily Nation, we have woman battered by daughters drops case as man gets 10 years for defilement. Now, I will take this story of the man gets 10 years of defilement. Now, denied the charges. In Nyeri, a man accused of defiling his 15-year-old stepdaughter has been sentenced to 10 years in prison. Now, is 10 years, you know, equivalent to the pain that he has caused to his stepdaughter? And, you know, this is Kenya. You never know. He can just receive, you know, a bail, pay money, and he's out. And again, this is going to continue, and our girls are going to keep suffering. Munene.
The issue of someone being imprisoned, I think the concept of it is for them to get reformed, and then for them to appreciate they were in the wrong and to transform their ways. The issue of compensating the pain that you have caused cannot be equivalent to the jail sentence that you get. I think the part should be, the 10 years, are they enough for this person to be reformed so that he can go back to society and appreciate he has done some wrong and try and be able to change his mentality and his view of how he looked at life. The pain that was caused to this person and to the family at large can never be equivalent to the sentence that will be given to this person. But the time that you will spend away in prison, will it be enough? Will it the structures enough in prison for this person to be reformed and be able to be integrated back into society as a good person?
And to what he has said, still we use law to deter, for deterrence effect, to stop other people doing some of these things we are saying. Because, for example, in our case, we have someone who just reads in a newspaper, this person has been jailed for just 10 years. So you can just, if you defile a kid, you can just be jailed for 10 years. So some people will not be deterred in doing this man has done. If it is true that this guy defiled the kid, and you know defilement can ruin someone's life totally. The girl may not recover after defilement. Because when we talk about these sexual offenses, they even affect they have psychological effect on a child. She may not even marry because of now she'll be viewing men as animals. That is something that will ruin her life. So it is something that is supposed to be fought with all the energy. And that is why sometimes we support harsh sentences on such individuals to deter other people who may think that you can do these things and get away with it, or get a lighter sentence of 10 years. Because 10 years, I consider it lighter sentence when we consider defilement is something that totally ruins the victim of defilement.
Thank you so much for that. Now moving on to the standards. The Americans who want to become Kenyans. While many Kenyans long to relocate to the US, these African Americans want to migrate to Kenya. We are tired of being blacks in America. We are tired of living in fear of being shot because of the color of our skin. We are tired of being called Americans. Now, is Kenya proving to be a very safe country and very accommodative country?
I think the context of it is about the people out there, black people who are taken away from the African continent many centuries ago, really comfortable living amongst a larger population of white people, and the mistreatment that black people are getting, and the racial injustices that is happening probably, let's say, in the Americas. And I think this goes about to point out the issue of just because you think the grass is greener on the other side doesn't mean there is a better situation out there. And I think this will go back to young people considering moving to Europe or to the Americans. The social integration that comes around you coming from Africa comes into play, and will you be able to be integrated in a white majority society? And I think this also happens to white people and the African. Are they able to be integrated in a black majority society? Yeah.
Amazing. Said Kuria, what do you have to say about this? Kenyans are very welcoming.
First, I'll welcome them because they are brothers and sisters, and Kenya is a good country. In fact, I'd be very happy if they come to our country. That is first thing. And still, I say, we can realize that human race is still stupid if we have people who are discriminating people on account of color. And when I talk about discrimination, I'm talking about what has been happening in America, where blacks have been treated as lesser beings. Because we have had these issues in 60s, where we had people like Malcolm X, Martin Luther fighting for black civil rights and telling their people to even work for their economic power so that they can be equal to whites in America. But it seems human beings are still stupid. And by the way, to fight this stupidity, Africa must act differently. In Africa, we have to welcome everyone. We have to consider that every human being has a right. Even those whites who are discriminating them, we welcome them to Kenya. We will not discriminate them, because we cannot fight a wrong thing with another wrong. But by doing that, they must learn something from us. They must know that they are stupid, because if at this time, at this age, they are still discriminating people on account of color, then it is very sad. And their leaders, we have seen they have. It is unfortunate they have even been electing leaders who are phobic against Africans, who are black Africans, who are insulting people just because of their color. And we have seen in human achievements, color doesn't matter. We have athletes like Eliud Kipchoge. He is the fastest marathoner. We have best boxers like Muhammad Ali, who are blacks. We have people in different fields who are good in their fields, yet they are blacks. We still have whites who have excelled in achievements we have made as human beings. But that has not been determined by color. So, as Kenyans, we may not be a very good place because we have our problems. We have bad leadership, which I still blame society. But we can do some things which can at least educate the other societies. We can welcome them and show them that sisi huwa tunakubali kila mtu na tunaheshimu kila mtu na hatubagui watu kwa rangi wala hatuwabagui kwa sababu watatoka Marekani wakuje hapa.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for coming on board in the morning to discuss, stories making the top headlines in our country. And we hope that Kenya will be better because we are a very beautiful country. Now, thank you so much for tuning into the newspaper review section. And on to my favorite part of the day, that is the round table, where we discuss very thorny and pertinent issues in our society. And of course, today is no exception. We are going to be talking about depression, the new health scare in Kenya. A report by WHO has recorded and ranked Kenya as the 6th most depressed country in Africa. Now stay tuned for this very interesting conversation. How can we overcome depression?
Assalamu alaikum. Let's brighten up your morning. I am Aisha Khan and you're watching the Sabah Show. Only on Horizon TV.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.